Good evening, Suffolk Ram.
I'm Sam Mole.
Welcome to episode 241 of the Ran Nurse podcast. How are you this evening, Zaber?
I'm all right, dude. And you?
I'm all right.
Cool.
It's been a manic couple of weeks. So,
Yeah. I could imagine.
yes. See, I have a new job, and I can't tell you what it is because for various documents I've signed, it says I cannot tell people what I do. Well, I can tell what I do, vaguely what I do, but I can't tell who I work for or anything like that. But yeah, I've got a new job.
So, hint, hint, MI6?
I wish. I wish it paid like MI6. That'd be good. Although it pays a lot better than my old job, so that's always a bonus. And it's every weekend off, bank holidays off. It's a lot nicer.
It was very James Bondish way of saying things,
Yeah,
like,
you know what social media policies are like. You can't say what you do these days.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I apologise in advance if at some point I get assaulted by doggos. It's very hot in the office. I've had to have the main door open, which means any possibility there could be like a half dozen, three spaniels could come in here charging at full speed at some point, and they'll be barking and whopping and stuff. If that happens, apologies in advance. So,
well, who don't like doggos?
Everybody likes doggos.
Everyone loves doggos.
Yeah, everybody loves doggos. And it's so nice to do a podcast, and it's light outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's daylight. I've got natural lighting in here.
Over here on this side, I'm trying to poke this whole being there. Yeah. There's light coming through my windows too.
Yeah, I've got.
That's when you know we're going toward the good times, dude. The good times. Oh yeah, I love this time of year.
Oh yes, I love this. Spring is my favorite time of year. It's not too hot. It's nice and bright. That's all like first couple of months after the hour goes on, which admittedly for if you're an American listener will be slightly different because their hour goes on I think like a month 4 hours. But first like month or two after the hour goes on, and possibly the first 3 months, it's just lovely. It's not too hot. The weather's very mild. You can have barbecue. You can go outside. It's warm. You can put your shorts on, and it's sort of like it's nice and light into the evenings, and it's just generally pleasant. You get to like July time, August time, it gets too hot, in my opinion.
I like the summer the most, but the reason I like spring is because it gives you the hint of the summer's coming. I love the summer, dude. I like fucking heat, ice cold beer, barbecues, women with the appropriate amount of clothes. It's awesome.
I don't like to say it. I don't like heat. I really do not appreciate heat. Once it gets into sort of like the low 20s, that's fine. Once it starts getting to the mid 20s, it's getting too warm for me.
Mm-hmm.
I really hate heat.
Well, I mean, yeah, like mid 20s and above, sure. If there's absolutely no wind outside, sure. Then I start, getting cooked in the head too,
Yeah.
But no, I just love the summer. It's also the best time of year because I can go out and ride my bike, and I love that. Yeah. I like riding my bike.
Oh, that's very nice. So, Rano's podcast stream from bike when?
Oh, so the moto vlog, Rano's moto vlog. I don't know.
We'll strap the cat. You can literally ride round the town you live in. Have the phone strapped to the front and linked up via, and you can actually just ride round and just talk as you're riding round.
Yeah. I could do that.
Yeah.
I could also get a GoPro and an actual mic and then do a proper thing.
Oh wow, yeah, that would be good. Yeah.
I think my brother has one of them GGI action cams. That's pretty good.
Oh, there you go.
I could probably borrow that and hook it up on the. Did you know that in Denmark? I don't know how it is in the UK. I know that laws in the US are kind of like split up in different states and whatnot.
Yes.
But I believe that a lot of places in the US, when you have a GoPro on your helmet when you're out riding a bike, the footage that you're recording can be used in a court of law.
Oh,
it can't in Denmark. You cannot use it in a court of law in Denmark. Even if you like, Yeah, if there's like you're like on the freeway, like I don't know what is that. If you have a car that's gotten on the, like that's coming ahead like toward traffic, we call that a ghost driver. I don't know what you guys call that, but we call that a ghost driver. Yeah. If someone comes straight toward you and kills you, even if you have it on cam, it doesn't. You can't use it as evidence
Oh no,
in
that's
Denmark.
fully legal in the UK. You can use it as evidence all you want.
Yeah,
Um,
we
da-
can't.
dash cam footage is like insurance companies love dash cams because it
We're
saves them so much hassle. And
we're
so
not
much
allowed
is
to use it in Denmark,
that's
dude. It's
really
that's
weird. Is it
yeah,
something
it
because it's
is.
some? Is it because like some privacy law? Is that what's causing it?
Yes, yes, because you haven't gotten the accept of the people that you are recording on this. You haven't gotten their acceptance for
But
you
then,
to record them.
how do your like news programs do like outside broadcasts in public areas? Do they just like to close off the whole area, or do they like get everybody to ask permission before they film them?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you're allowed to record it for your own like whatever you want to do,
Well, I'm talking like news
but
broadcasts and stuff like that when they must like do like broadcasts outside at some point. You know, they film, they broadcast like outside like your Parliament building. Oh, we'll go to the reporter on site. And that's the Parliament. There's pedestrians walking past.
yeah, I think that's different because that's just like that's just the TV. That's not court of law. So, but you can't use it as evidence though.
Can't use evidence.
Uh,
You can record it, but you just can't use it as evidence.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can report things and stuff like that. That's how the TV stations do shit. But
That's
evidence, not so much. There's a
yeah.
weird law. I think they
It's
should change it.
bizarre. Yeah, it should.
But
Just a
and
just
there's
a
we have a lot of old laws in Denmark that hasn't been changed and the laws have been written in a time where the world was way different. Everything like everything was so different from now. And we're not changing the laws according to how the world changed,
So hang
which
on a
is
second.
weird.
Hang on a second. What about CCTV footage?
What is CCTV?
Closed circuit security cameras.
Nope. I well.
So you mean you? So you
Yes,
you
yes, you
mean?
are. Yes, you are. You are allowed because, and the only reason there's one requirement for it to be actually passable as evidence. You have to have a sign that states we are recording here on your store. That we have security foot, like we have a security camera that has to be on the window of the store or on the door. It has to be very, very like up in your face. Be like, hey, dude, you can't have missed this sign. Now you know that we record shit.
So if you stick in your car sign, I have a dash cam, I'm recording shit. Get them away if you don't want to be on footage. You'd be clear.
Not necessarily because unless they're coming straight for you, they won't see the sign.
You could put it on the back and the front and the sides. You could put it everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But if someone backs into you, they haven't seen your sign, even no matter what.
But I mean, could you not argue then that someone walking down the so if you have a shop with a camera facing outwards, like to the door, so it can see into the street, someone walks past that camera, they won't necessarily know they're on camera. They won't necessarily know they're on film because they can't see the sign. Unless they look in the window, they won't see the sign that's in the window.
Well, yeah, but then again, what happens outside the store is then not passable as evidence,
So
even if it's caught on that camera.
a store could have on film someone being murdered outside its shop, and you couldn't use as evidence.
I think so, yeah.
That's utterly bizarre.
Yeah.
That's
Because
just
again, you are only allowed so that the sign allows you to like shoot security footage inside your store. If the camera is angled so it would actually capture something outside, I don't think it's passable as evidence.
yeah.
I don't know if there's
Yeah.
any way that the law or the judge could then circumvent that law and say, "Hey, I don't care. We're going to use it anyways." But by law, that's how it is.
Wow, that's
yeah.
bizarre.
We don't change
So,
like with time.
so see in the UK, the general sort of like, and I'll probably get it slightly wrong. The general rule is, you can when it comes to like sort of being filmed and stuff, it's all about what they call the expectation of privacy. So if you own your own home, you expect that to be a private environment because you're inside your home, you're in the walls, you can close doors and so for that be expectation of privacy. However, when you're out on the street in the pub, in the, sort of like a public area that you don't own, there's no expectation of privacy. So
Hmm.
basically, you can be filmed, and anyone can film you out on the street. There are some sort of like restrictions on it, but generally, so I can take my camera and just go out and about and film in the street, and no one can stop me.
Hmm.
Well, people could obviously complain, but no one can actually stop me filming because it's a public area.
Yeah.
But that would be all allowed into court and stuff. Now, when it comes to security cameras, what we would call CCTV, which is closed circuit television, is what I call, but security cameras. When you come to like sort of private entities and businesses and stuff, that's when you run into GDPR and Data Protection Act and stuff. What we call Data Protection Act, what GDPR is sort of the worldwide, the European wide version.
Yeah.
That's what we run into. And so when I worked retail, we had cameras and we were not allowed to give out that footage to anybody without not general public. So police could request it, but then they had to go through certain channels to request it.
It's the same here. It's the same here.
And solicitors could request it, but again, certain channels. One thing we were required to do is if you are, so basically let's say you go to, something happens outside or inside a shop and you want to sue the shop or sue somebody else and it's on the shop CCTV, you could basically get a letter sent to them saying you need to preserve this footage and you have to preserve it. You have to protect that footage because at some point we're going to request it because most security camera footage gets overwritten after like a few days or a few months or a few weeks.
Yeah.
So occasionally when I worked retail, we would get a letter through saying on this date between this time, this happened, we require you to preserve this footage. And we would. We'd go and we'd record it all off the system. But it was very specific what they would request. They'd have to request some very specific things. So they'd have to say like the date, what time frame, which area the cameras had to be covered on, and we'd only have to do that. So they forgot to include an area, we were not required to preserve it because we weren't asked to. But we couldn't hand it over to them without basically, unless we were actually like, unless police sort of requested it, or like solicitors requested it, then we could hand footage over. But it was very complicated what you could and couldn't hand over.
I think it's the same in Denmark. The law's very weird and very very detailed, and it's up to interpretation in many ways because it's so old. But with the stores, as an example, I don't know exactly the all of the law about it, but I know about what I said about the dash cams and the webcams, or sorry, the action cams on the helmets. About the stores, though, we had a couple of years back, there was like a lot going on in the media, in the Danish media, about robberies and stuff like that in stores, that the store owners had caught this stuff on security camera, but the wheels turned so damn slow in terms of law in Denmark that they had a backlog of cases that, where this robbery or these things had happened a couple of years back, and still they hadn't gotten to this case.
Yeah,
they still hadn't gotten to this thing. So eventually, the store owners they were like, "What the hell are we supposed to do now? Like the law is not on our side. We can't get this shit done. This is not right." So they started posting the footage publicly on their Facebooks and stuff like that, as a cry for help, and I'll also be like, "Hey, this shit is going on, and no one's doing nothing about it. Nothing's happening."
Yeah.
Seriously, if you have someone like coming in and like robbing you at gunpoint or whatever is going on, or trashing your entire store, or stealing all your shit, you can't wait multiple years for the cops to actually, "Oh, here's your case number. Now we're gonna start looking into this shit."
Yeah.
That's too long. But again, also, like, Danish law is a joke in many ways. Like you can like, someone kills someone in Denmark and gets like 4 years of jail time. That's it. And then they're out again. That's bullshit. Someone that's out there getting caught with like tons and tons of drugs get 10 years in
Yeah.
prison. What the hell is that? I mean, it's a joke. So if we had a more tight law, or the laws were more tight in these certain areas where it's aggressive criminal activity or whatever you call it, like people killing people and stuff like that. That if you killed someone, you got like 20 years of jail time or 25 years of jail time. A lot of people would probably think twice before they started getting into arguments and getting into fights that would end up killing people.
I'm not sure if that would be the case, because the trouble is a lot of I think, I don't know how Danish laws work. In over here, we have a sliding scale of there's different types of murder, and there's also manslaughter.
There's manslaughter. Yeah. I know that. But let's say the worst kind of of murder there is gets you 6 years of jail time. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. You're out again in 6 years drinking beer or doing whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, there has been like cases of, I think what I can't remember how many years of like 6 or 8 years back, where there was this guy in Denmark that had a submarine. He took I believe it was a Norwegian or Swedish reporter with him, and she went missing.
Oh yeah, I remember this case. Yeah.
Yes. That guy, he got like tons and tons of years of jail time. They made like in a few cases they make exceptions where it's like they get like this guy's never getting out of jail again. But it's a rare thing. There was this guy as well that we go like back 20 years, maybe more. A guy called Peter London, I think he was called. He murdered his entire family, his wife and her kids. Cut him up into small pieces, into bags, and whatever. He got caught, and he was from the U.S., I think. And
I love it. He's from the US, but his name's Peter London.
Oh yeah, because he's half Danish, half American, I think. But he got caught and all that stuff, and he's like permanently in jail as well. There's like slight cases where they're like, yeah, we're gonna come hard down on this murder or this case here. But there's other cases where someone gets shot, killed, jail time 5 years.
Yeah,
that's a bit of a joke.
Peter
for
London,
taking someone else's life.
Yeah, Peter London. I'll just clarify. Peter London can't be his name, because Peter London is a Swedish bassist.
But it is his name.
It was not coming. I've searched him and murder, and it's not coming up.
Hang on.
Unless I'm spelling. Is London spelled how I'd expect to spell London?
Lundin.
I'm spelling it as in the city. Here we go. Yeah, London. Yeah. That's me.
Yeah.
I was searching for. I was spelling it London.
Yeah. But that guy, that was brutal. What he did, like that was really, really brutal. That was back in 2001 that he got life in prison for triple homicide.
Yeah.
But that's like rare cases. That was only because it was so nasty, what he did. And the same with that guy, the other guy, with the submarine.
Yeah, I remember that story. I remember that being publicized.
His name was also Peter Madsen.
So basically, if you're Denmark, fear anyone called Peter.
Yeah, just stay clear of everyone called Peter, apparently.
Well.
Hey, you're in luck. That's not my name.
Well. All I can say is I do know someone who's called Peter. And
From
you
Denmark?
do as well. Not from Denmark. So perhaps they're safe. But I'll tell you that. I'll tell you who they are later.
All right.
Mm. Oh, so basically, yeah. So watch out for Peterson in Denmark. Talking of Denmark, I'm drinking some Danish beer today.
You are?
Yeah, I mean,
What are
it's
you
not.
drinking?
I wouldn't say it's well. I call it beer. To me, it's more of a lager. But and I don't think it's necessarily. I'm not sure whether you consider it a good Danish beer or not. I'm drinking Carlsberg. Poor Zaber.
No, it's just the straight up green one.
Yeah.
Like just a straight up normal one, normal Carlsberg. Yeah, okay. I actually when I was young, Carlsberg was my preferred beer. Then as I grew older, because the Carlsberg is a lot more foamy than like a Tuborg.
Hmm.
Then my palates started changing with age, and I was like, I like darker, like more, So I went for a Tuborg Classic. That's my go-to beer now. Like if I'm out at the pub, that's the kind of beer I drink. Although if I'm drinking like beer at home, I'll just want to enjoy one or two. I'll probably go out and buy some expensive stuff like the Svanica ones that I've shown or that I've talked about on here as well, or something else. But Carlsberg, it's all right. I can drink it.
Yeah, Carlsberg. I mean, I'm not. This was on offer at the supermarket, which is why I bought it. Carlsberg fits in what I call my daily beers. Something that I would have at the end of the day. Something that's fairly cheap. You can afford to have a case of it for not a huge amount of money.
Have you tried the Tuborg Classic?
I can't. I'm struggling to find someone where I can get hold of it. I think I'm going to have to order it. I'm going to order it from abroad because I've not been able to find. Last time I had a look for it, I couldn't find anyone in the UK seem to have it.
No, let me send you a link if I can.
So I found the website. I found the.
Oh, so you know how it looks?
I think you've told me about it before, and I've sort of searched and I found like their website, but I couldn't seem to find a UK stockers very easily.
Let me see if I can I grab that? No, I cannot.
If I remember, is it
Oh, this is from another site. I can't just. How do I? Is it Control and then print screen?
If you want to print ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tolberg. Like I have come across this.
Sending it now. This one. That's the can though, but it's the same logo on the bottle if it's bottled. And then you can get them in pint size as well.
Well, hang on, send 190.
That's a good beer though. I like that.
Yeah, I found it on a website, but I can't seem to.
Another reason to come Denmark, dude.
Yeah,
all this shit is readily available in any store.
Exactly. Yeah, so I found the website where you can. Oh, what's here? What's this? Carlsberg Classic Danish Dark Lager, full case of 24 cans.
Yeah, for a Tuborg?
Tuborg, yeah.
Yeah.
£38 from a website called Whoa. Okay. It's £38 for the drink. It's £16 delivery.
Yeah, that's bullshit. For that amount of money, you could almost buy a plane ticket back and forth.
Yeah.
And I'd buy you the beer.
Yeah. What's this? Carlsberg. Oh, here we go. From Drink Supermarket. Carlsberg Premium Lager, 24 by 275. So only little ones. So that's what, half pints. Well, not quite half pints. £24 for 24 little bottles.
That's insane, dude. That's too much. Do you know what, like, a can like that I sent you, that's like 33 centiliters. So that's was like 3/4 of a pint size, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a standard size can for us. Like
Yeah,
the standard
yeah,
size soft drink can, you don't really very often buy beer in that size can.
yeah. But that's how it is in Denmark. But 24 of those we could probably get for about 12 quid.
Yeah, but it's also because it's imported, isn't it? That's what it is. It's you're paying for the import price. I mean, the equivalent for us is so I like beer, but I'm mainly a cider drinker.
Mm-hmm.
So in the UK, my favourite cider is Aspel's. It's called, and it's I know it's not like it's not a cheap cider, but it's not cheap. It's not mega expensive. It's like I'm gonna like I call that a Saturday night cider or a Sunday evening cider. You know, in the evening it's a weekend. It's one day we're gonna have something a little bit special this evening. Have a bit of Aspel's.
Yeah.
So you can buy like 4 bowls of Aspel's, which are like pint-sized bottles, will cost you about £7. So it's more of the expensive end of the market, but it's absolutely delicious. Compared to something like Magners, which is a cheap cider, or Strongbow, which you buy a case of 18 cans, and they're bigger. They're the bigger cans, the 440ml cans, and that's about £13 for like a case of. So like just under £1, just under like 80 pence each. Whereas Aspel's, you're looking like it's all like £2 something each.
I need to try that cider stuff next time I go, because it's not a thing here. It's not a thing here, and well, it used to be. There's like one brand that kind of like took off. It was called Summersby or something like that. That was like the go-to cider.
Yeah.
You can buy cider at a Danish store, but it's without alcohol.
Yes.
Like it's like point whatever, like 0.1% or something.
I think yeah, it's quite common actually. In a lot of places, cider basically just means apple juice, which is slightly alcoholic. Whereas in the UK, cider it's alcohol. If you order a cider, you're ordering something alcoholic. You know it's going to be it's a drink. Whereas like America, I think cider generally means apple juice. I believe. They don't really. I think they have alcoholic ciders.
It has the like the bubbles as in a soda, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Well.
Yeah. That's the difference between the juice and the cider, I guess.
No, cider. I mean, cider. I wouldn't say cider is. I mean, obviously, it does froth up because it's like it's alcoholic drink, so it does have like a beer has a head. Cider does have a head as well, but it's not like it's not as much as say beer is. It's definitely not as powerful as frothy as that.
So how much percentage is there in one of them ciders?
Let me find out my Aspel's. I can't remember Aspel's draft. I think Aspel's draft is about 7%.
See, that's more than a normal beer.
Aspel's draft. Okay, Aspel's draft. Okay, I'm getting mixed up. Aspel's draft is 5.5%. The reason that's called draft is they made that one specifically for pubs because they weakened it down for pubs. Their main one.
It down for pubs.
Well, yeah, because people they are basically when they first started saying to pubs, people were. Like they were saying, like the normal stuff, which is quite strong, and people were just treating like most cider. You see, most cider you buy, Aspel's is like a premium cider. Most ciders you buy in pubs are quite weak. They're not much more than beer. So people were then drinking Aspel's, thinking it was like normal cider. So Aspel's Strongbow is like 4.5%. You know, it's about as long as a beer.
Yeah.
Aspel's, their original one was like a proper cider, was a lot stronger, but of course people didn't realise that. They're buying it, they're just treating it like normal cider. I think it's quite a weak drink. They're getting absolutely hammered on it because they're basically they're drinking too much of it. They weren't realising how strong it was. So their original one, which they now sell as Premium Crew, is nearly 7%. That was their original one they're saying. So they then once they had like sort of feedback from pubs were like people like drinking like sort of like 16, 17 pints, thinking it's normal cider, getting absolutely destroyed. They made a weakened version for pubs called Draft. I prefer the taste of Draft to the Premium Crew. I like both, but I prefer the Draft. So that's what I tend to buy. Also, Premium Crew is quite strong, and I mean, Aspel, a normal draft. I mean, I can't drink like I used to. I used to drink quite a lot. I can't drink like I used to. Aspel's Draft. I can drink probably about four bottles of Aspel's Draft, and that'll be about me done. I do find I get drunk on cider, strangely enough.
They're pint-sized, yeah?
Yeah, pint size. I do find I get drunk on cider.
Mm-hmm.
I can drink a lot more beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can drink a lot equivalent of alcohol, a lot more on beer than I can in cider.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I seem to get drunk on cider. I don't know why. But then I'm same. But then the opposite is true of spirits. I can drink like a whole bottle of spirits and be like nothing happened. I can literally drink like a whole like 750 milliliter bottle of rum, and I'll still feel absolutely fine. And I will wake up next day, no hangover, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny actually.
Yeah. What you said about the cider, like when people start drinking the stronger stuff and they get like completely hammered.
Yeah.
That happens every year in Denmark around Christmas, because when the Christmas brew come out, that's a special day. It has a special date as well, and we call it, because Christmas, that's in Danish, that's jul. And the Christmas beer is called julebryg.
Yeah.
So yeah, Christmas brew. And when that come out, that has more alcohol in it than a normal beer, and everyone goes absolutely mental. So if you ever participate in a what we call a J Day, when the Christmas brew come out in Denmark, you're probably gonna end up like if you're like at the pubs and whatnot, let's say from around 10 p.m. and then until like let's say 2, chances are you're gonna see a lot of fights break out, because people, they can't control themselves when they drink them Christmas brews.
We do have like sort of Christmas brew beers over here. My personal favourite, and it's not technically a beer, it's technically a barley wine. I'm not quite sure what the difference is, but it's not technically a beer.
Barley wine?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the difference is between a barley wine and a beer is, but but Adams, who brew it, and Adams is like one of my sort of favourite brewery.
Mm-hmm.
They call it a barley wine. I'm not really sure.
I need to try that as well. Like whatever a barley wine is, I need to try it.
Well, essentially, the trouble is they brew it like once. They brew it like once a year, basically. And
it's the Tally Ho.
Tally Ho, it's called. And it is absolutely delicious. It's very dark. It's about 7%.
I've seen this.
Yeah, it's like they brew it just once a year. It's absolutely delicious. It is. I buy a case of it every year, and really enjoy it. And it's absolutely my favourite of every year. I look forward to getting my case of Tally Ho, and I only drink it around Christmas. Before. Yeah, I've probably mentioned to you before at some point, I'm sure.
No, I think I've seen them in a store actually. I don't know
really?
if that's because I don't. Do they import this stuff or export it?
I would assume so. I mean, they brew like one batch a year.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite uncommon.
Well, then it might have been something that looks very similar to it that I've seen. It's kind of like with the brand Hobgoblin. Is that also a UK brand?
Yeah, we've got Hobgoblin. Yeah.
Yeah, but is it a UK brand?
I don't know actually.
Because all of a sudden, I remember Skaz talking about the Hobgoblin, and all of a sudden, I've only seen him once, but I've seen him in a Danish store once. The Hobgoblin. So I was like, hey, that's the one. That's the one Skaz one. He likes that one.
No, right. I don't know if that came through on the audio, but I went on Hobgoblin's website, and it started playing hardcore metal music.
I didn't hear anything.
Well, I don't know if it got picked up on my audio because I'm using system audio, so potentially that got picked up. So if that did, I apologise, but it shouldn't be.
I'm putting a note in here, like 34 minutes or whatever it is. And
podcast audio should be fine because the podcast audio is recorded from my mic, but obviously the stream is the PC audio. You come through the PC audio, so podcast listeners won't have this problem. The podcast viewers would have had the problem, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, but yeah, the website went. So I clicked on it. It's Hobgoblin. Looks like it's a UK one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here
I
it
just
is.
remember,
It's
yeah, just
UK.
remember, yeah. I just remember Skaz talked about it, and all of a sudden, I saw one, like I saw a batch of them at a Danish store. I was like, whoa, there it is. There's different kinds, but it was the white one, the white label one, that I saw in a Danish store. But I haven't
Oh,
seen them since.
I can't believe this. Right, I've gone on the Wikipedia page of Hobgoblin, and there's a picture of David Cameron and Barack Obama enjoying a bottle of Hobgoblin.
There you go.
I don't know if Barack Obama was drinking one as well. Is he drinking one? No. Is that Hobgoblin? That might be a Hobgoblin bomb, but apparently we gave Barack Obama Hobgoblin.
So you don't need any more advertising than that, dude.
No.
Fucking, now you got the golden beer.
The American came and tried a real beer.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think enough alcohol talk. Zaber, have you been up to anything at all?
A little bit. I've been
Oh.
very, very busy though over the last. I know you've been busy too, but I've been quite busy. I have I don't know how this. All of a sudden, I got this fucking really tight schedule. All of a sudden, and I have to do shit every day. Um, so I've been busy with the band and stuff as well. But I have managed to play a little bit of games with my daughter. We started playing the Star Wars game, Jedi Survivor.
Hmm.
And we got a little further into it. I think we must be around halfway into it. It's a long game though. It's good. I mean, it's one of those games where I don't know if it's been ported or whatever, but graphically, there are places in the game where it looks absolutely stunning. It looks absolutely stunning, and then all of a sudden, there's like these graphically glitches, whatever thing is going on, where it's like, oh, that looks cheap. Like it's but yeah, it's very enjoyable to play, and the storyline is awesome. And I do like some of the things they've done to the game where you have talent trees. You as you level up, you get like some kind of talent points that you can spend, and then you can either spend them in a talent. You can choose which kind of like talent tree you want to go into. Like if you want to go into the force, so it's like telekinesis or whatever with the force, or it's more. I can't remember what the other one's called, but it's like health stuff. Like you get a larger health pool, or you regen health faster, or something like that. Or you can then go into weapons as well, where you can be like, I have 4 weapons, different types of weapons now. Well, actually, no, that's not true. I got 5 stances now, actually, to choose from. So there's like the normal lightsaber. Then you got dual wielding, so you got 2 lightsabers. Then you got the third one is where you stick them 2 together, and you got like a staff type thing going on. And then you got a spear type thing as well, where it's like a long one, and it's like a cross at the end with the laser thing going out, the lightsaber thing. And then you also have like one last stance. That's a new one I've gotten as well, where you have a gun that you can pull out as well. So you have like the one lightsaber, and you can like have a blaster. I think it's called, that you can shoot with, and then you recharge the gun by doing damage with the lightsaber. But you can then, in the talent tree system, you can then go in and spend points depending on what you like, what your playstyle is. But I guess if you're playing on a really hard difficulty, there's a plan with the different weapons or whatever the stances I would call them, where some of them is more AOE oriented, and others are more melee. It's like single target stuff that deal more damage, I guess. But you can then go in and spend points and expand what like combos you can do and what moves you can do. It's kind of cool. And if you're into a game where you have to like it's like you have to grapple things and figure out how to move around and jump from one thing to another and solve puzzles and get into like different boss fight type scenario things. Um, the game is absolutely it's like the newer Tomb Raider games as well. It's really good. It is really good. It's a good game.
Oh,
Something
cool.
like if you and also if you enjoy the Star Wars like universe as well. I really do like the story on this one as well. I think they did a pretty good job with it. Um, yeah, but yeah,
Oh,
we've gone like halfway through that. I don't know, yeah, how much more I can say about it right now, but yeah, it's good. It's good for now at least. I think I enjoyed the first one very very much, so I'm very sure that this one is gonna be you know awesome the rest of the way through
yeah,
too.
because it got a bit of a because it's a sequel to Fallen Order, I
Mm-hmm.
believe, and it got
Yep,
a,
it is.
it's not been as heavily rated as Fallen Order. People generally don't seem to have given it such good ratings. Do you think
Yeah,
does it in your opinion does it hold up to does it hold up as a worthy successor to Fallen Order, or is Fallen Order a lot
I
better?
think
Or
no, it's not better. It's definitely not better, but I think it's okay enough to be like a decent continuation of the first one. I can see why people would say that they enjoyed the first one more because it was more unique at the time. It was a very like dude, it's a Jedi game, everyone had been wanting one of those like for ages. Especially with all the new stuff come out. But so I think the anticipation for the first one was huge, and everyone was way into it. But I think also the first one wasn't as locked in a specific way. Like you had more freedom to do things, whereas the second one here feels more like there's only this one obvious choice to do. Like it's there's a word for it. I just can't find it. But you're like locked into doing certain things. You can't go about it a different way when you have to move from A to B or something like that. Where it felt more like in the first one, you were free to move between the different like planets quicker than you've come to do so in the second one here. Um, and this yeah I can see where people are coming from. I think the second one here is a decent game, but I can see why people wouldn't find it as good as the first one.
yeah, okay. So okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But at least main thing is you're enjoying it, so that's good.
Oh, I am. I
Yeah.
mean, but I mean, it's as much the story as well behind it. Like we get to continue the story from the first game, and on that end, I think they've done a good job. Um, could they've done things different with the second one? Sure. Am I still enjoying it? Yes, of course.
Well, excellent. Glad to hear that. Well, I say I've been getting used to a new job, so I've not done basically sod all the last couple of weeks.
Hmm.
Um, but I have been some bits of time watching a TV series, so I thought I'd talk about that.
Yeah.
I've been watching a series called Foundation. And
Foundation.
Foundation. It's on Apple TV. Still making use of my free months on Apple TV,
Yes.
and it's based on the books of Isaac Asimov. Are you aware of Isaac Asimov?
No, it doesn't. The name doesn't ring a bell.
Uh, so it's I say based on the books. It's very loosely based on the book. Isaac Asimov was one of the early sort of like one of the early sort of people who sort of got science fiction going. He's sort of like up there with like Arthur C. Clarke, Robert Heinlein, Heinen, something like that. He's not like the first sci-fi author by a long shot. I think, depending on how you look at it, you've got Mary Shelley's Frankenstein could be argued as a possibly a sci-fi. That's more. I think that's going to be considered more of a horror. But you could argue it was. You could sort of argue at the time it was a sci-fi, sort of on the edge. H.G. Wells is probably one of the main sort of proponents of science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
You also had sort of a part of the year. Also had like Lovecraft, H.P. Lovecraft, who was more cosmic horror than sci-fi. A lot of his stuff overlapped with sci-fi, but he was more the cosmic horror sort of side of sci-fi. But Asimov was a bit later, and he just wrote fucking loads of stuff. He is responsible for I think his perhaps most well-known books is Brain's gone dead now. His most well-known book is, I can tell you what, iRobot. Sorry, Brain went completely.
Oh yeah.
You've heard of iRobot?
Yeah.
It was a collection of short stories. There have been films based. The film iRobot, the film, was vaguely based on his books, but hasn't really got a lot of crossover with it. But yeah, iRobot was a series of short stories, and Asimov was what he came up with the Three Laws of Robotics, which people often quote, and they're basically used. I love the Three Laws of Robotics. People quote them, and they oh yeah, we've solved it. I just use the Three Laws of Robotics. But the thing is, Isaac Asimov's short stories collection, where he introduced the Three Laws of Robotics, each short story was about how the robots accidentally or deliberately broke the laws and got around, or not broke them, circumvented the laws and did something they shouldn't do.
Yeah.
All his short stories are about that, yet people seem to think that they have somehow fixed everything. Luckily, that's all disappeared now. But yeah, so he basically, he's sort of one of the granddaddies of science fiction. He set up a lot of the tropes. And again, it's similar like way how Tolkien, if people like read Lord of the Rings or see Lord of the Rings films, they feel it feels very, if you watch with a modern eye, it feels very cliche. But the point was, Tolkien basically invented it all, and everybody copied him. So it's very cliche. Other people copy what he did. And Asimov thinks the source of things, all the stuff that he came up with, some of the ideas he came up with, other people just copied. And he wrote a series called Foundation, which has been loosely adapted into an AppleTV series. I am going to get around to actually reading the proper books to see what they actually were like compared to the series. So that's both my background. So Foundation, it's a sci-fi. It's set in the very far future. It's set in our universe, although where Earth is sort of like forgotten about at this point. It's not the centre of the galaxy. And the story basically is about this guy called Harry Seldon. That's him. Played by Jared Harris. Have you seen The Expanse?
Yes.
Yes. There's that guy who's sort of like the leader of the Belters, who has a really funny accent.
Yes.
That's Jared Harris.
Okay.
He's been in lots of things. He's in Chernobyl as well. But he's played this guy called Harry Seldon, who develops this new form of mathematics called psychohistory. And basically, it's basically a prediction system. Basically, you can dial in like the numbers, and it basically predicts the future. And the current sort of like world foundation is set. There's this place called the Empire. It's led by three people who are referred to as Empire, sort of, but their real name's Cleon, and they're actually all clones of like one emperor. This emperor basically had himself cloned 3 times, so you have like 3 of them at different ages in life, called Day, Dawn, and Dusk. And so you've got Dusk, so you've got the oldest one is called Dusk, the middle-aged one's called Dawn, who's actually running everything, and then sort of the young up-and-comer one is called Day. And then as like Dusk, the older one, dies off, they get a new one come out, and then dawn becomes dusk, day becomes dawn, and the new one is called the new one's called dawn. Dawn becomes day, and day becomes dusk. So they basically have this like rolling cycle of clones, who are sort of like leading the empire.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so they sort of run it now. Basically, Harry Seldon comes to him and says, and he basically has come up with an prediction of what's going to happen, and basically predicting that the empire is going to fall, that the world's going to come to ruin. The empire themselves aren't particularly keen on him basically getting these views out. They feel that he's sort of a heretic, and sort of like lying and stuff. But he basically says, look, this is what's going to happen. The empire's going to fall. He at this point has got a lass called Gale who comes from a planet where basically science is all banned, but she's really good at mathematics. So she goes and sees him, and he sort of invites her to the planet he's on, and she basically he gets there as a sort of verification of his. She's the only other person who can understand the maths that he does, so she's there to sort of like verify what it is, and they try and get her to like sort of like denounce him, but she doesn't. So basically he sort of like says, look, he's not very popular at this point, and he says, and they're basically going to kill him. But he says, look, surely if this is going to happen, we need to do something about it. And so they're going to execute him, but he basically, one of the empires says, no, okay, well, what we'll do is we'll send you to this planet called Terminus, and you can set up your thing called the Foundation, and the Foundation's goal is to work toward is basically going to be like goals be a repository of knowledge. So the idea is that the fall is going to happen anyway. We can't stop it, but what we can do is let's put together a like repository of knowledge, of like key knowledge and concepts that civilization can use to rebuild itself, called the Foundation. Yeah. And he's basically sort of like they get exiled to form this foundation. And the story follows how the Foundation grows over time. It does do sort of time skips very early on. It does skip throughout the series. It'll skip like 30 or 40 years and basically jump ahead to show how Foundation changes and stuff. So the start of the story starts where you first will see a story start. The events that of Harry Seldon happened like sort of I think 35 years previous, something like that. And then so the main part of the story is after that, and then it jumps ahead a bit later on. So you get to see how the Foundation gradually grows and so forth. And Harry Seldon himself, he has ways and means of continuing existing throughout this time period. I won't say how, I won't spoil it how. There's also this mysterious like place called the Vault on Terminus that no one knows what it's there for, why it's there, and they have to sort of like work out what's doing there and how to get into it. And it's basically part sort of like I'd say it's more political drama in a way. It's about how this group of people are going to try and sort of save the Empire, but obviously you've got the Empire having their own political problems in their sort of their own planet of dealing with like extremists and quelling rebellions and stuff, and the three sort of members of Empire aren't particularly nice people. They're all a bit arrogant and stuff because they're all clones of each other, so they think they know best. It's a very interesting series. The first series, just currently two. One came out in 2021. The second series came out last year. The first series does drag itself a little bit. I think because they're doing a lot of world-building establishments in the first series because they have to establish like how everything works. Yeah, and it does drag a little bit. Especially the first or half, it's just setting up basically, so it does drag. But towards the end of the series, it does sort of start to get really good and sort of accelerating. And the second series, which is sort of another sort of time jump, really pulls along. And I'm about halfway through the second series now. And it's been actually very enjoyable. It's different seeing it's interesting seeing how, because again, this is loosely based on the Foundation series of books. So I'm planning to pick the books up and actually listen to them and see how much the series follows it. Because it's very, from what I understand, it's very much based on, rather than a direct translation. But yeah, it's a really, really
What would
interesting
you
ways.
put this one in like you mentioned The Expanse? Like for me, The Expanse is probably one of the best made sci-fis of newer time.
Yeah, I would
If you
agree
ask
with that.
me, yeah. So if that's a 10,
Oh,
where would you put this one?
oh, oh.
That's a hard one,
That's a
huh?
hard one. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just doing
yeah,
sort of sci-fi. So you got The Expanse. Expanse like it's number 10.
yeah, definitely.
Um, I mean, Stargate's got to be a 9, if not a 10 itself.
Yeah, that's very good too. Yeah, there's a lot of
Yes.
good ones. But let's say of newer time, like
Newer
so.
times.
Yeah,
Last or 10 years or so.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah.
Hmm. I'd say I'm definitely. I'd probably put this at like a 7.
All right.
Um, I've
And
sort of, I mean, obviously it's only had 2 series, so it might sort of build up pace. I mean, previous sort of sci-fis I've talked about, For Mankind. I think I prefer Foundation to For Mankind. For
all
Mankind
right.
season 1 was really good, but it's sort of like I think it has struggled a little bit, sort of like carry on the storyline a bit more.
That was the one where like what
Alternate
if
history.
this and that? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. If things had changed or gone
Yeah.
a different way.
I
So
thought
you're saying
that's.
Foundation might actually be better than that one?
I would say probably based on the whole all 4 series together, I would say Foundation's slightly better. That's probably
So
gonna be a not popular opinion.
I had access to the Apple thingy when I bought my new phone. I got 3 months free, I think. I never got to watch anything after there, and then the free 3 months they expired, so I never got to. But I had actually taken that series Foundation and put on my list of things to watch at some
Yeah.
point.
Oh well,
Might
yeah.
actually go back and give it a go.
Yeah,
Sounds
yeah, yeah,
interesting.
yeah. There's some good ones. Silo, which is another sci-fi on Apple. I really
Yeah.
like Silo, because it's so different. It's such a sort of like it's not something I sort of feel I've seen much of. Like sort of it's so different. I'm like really into like the mystery of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But Silo's only had 1 series. It's not really had a chance to establish itself like properly. So I
And
don't
there's
think.
not there's no plans for a second season.
Oh, there is more plans for other seasons, but it's only had 1 series so far.
Ah, okay,
So
okay.
I don't think it's fair to rate a sci-fi series after its first season, really, because
Yeah.
that's world-building season. That's the everybody getting their sort of pace and gear, getting the actors and writers getting their sort of like speed and gear. You know, everybody's sort of getting sort of used to it. Because most sci-fi's, their first season tends to be quite ropey. You look at
Mm-hmm.
like, I mean, Stargate was good, but its first season is one of its weakest seasons.
Yeah.
Because they had sort of like they didn't know what they were going to do with it, and it had some really terrible episodes in the first season. I mean, I think episode 4 was one of the worst episodes of Stargate ever, and it was episode 4, episode 3, the one where they're on like that Mongol planet and Carter
Oh
gets
yeah,
just there. That's a terrible episode.
yeah.
But yeah, so Star Trek Next Generation, the first season of Next Generation was pretty shite. Truth be told, it's pretty terrible. It sort of like catches on a lot later on. It soon builds up. Most
Yeah.
sci-fis, their first seasons are pretty crap, and they get better after season 2. So I don't like judging sci-fis we've only had 1 season, unless that's what the season they've had, because I don't think it's fair. In fact,
Well, I mean,
most
sometimes they get
series,
canned.
yeah,
Sometimes they don't get canned because they're not popular, though. Sometimes it's just like the interest from the publishers,
yeah,
or just a matter of money,
yeah. I
or
think
pure ignorance.
I think perhaps the most ultra example of that is Firefly, which got
Yes.
canned after. Didn't even make it through its first. It only got halfway through its first season. They didn't even finish filming it.
Yeah. Then they made a movie
Film,
to end it
yeah,
off.
to start
Yeah.
off, which was good.
That was a really good movie. I love that one.
That is a
Actually.
good film, yeah.
Yeah.
Other season got canned unfairly. Dark Angel. Did you ever see Dark Angel?
No.
Dark Angel was going interesting places and ends on a cliffhanger, but then I think it got canned in the writers' strike.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, all series have really refreshes, but yeah, I would say Foundation. I'm enjoying Foundation more than For Mankind overall. I think it's more interesting, but then I perhaps enjoy sci-fi that's a bit more out there, not so much on our planet. Whereas For Mankind's very much on our base around our planet, so it's a bit more grounded.
yeah.
But then
Have you ever
expansions
seen
like
the
that.
Have you seen the show Dark Matter?
Dark Matter. No, I have not. I'm confusing myself with Dark, but it's not. It's
Yeah,
Dark Matter.
it's a show where they like the plot is that there's these guys that are they've lost their memory, and they all wake up and it's like what the hell, and they are on a cargo ship, and they've like over time find out that they're part of they're a smuggling crew, so they're smuggling or transporting things for people, and things start like unfolding, and they figure out that they're part of a huge plot of a lot of shit going on.
Hmm.
It's a good one too.
Oh, I'll have to look it
Um,
up.
I never
Oh,
got to actually finish that one. I can't remember where the hell it was. I was seeing it way back when. It's probably around 10 plus years old, around there.
I'm looking at it on IMDb now. You're right. 2015 it first came out.
See, there you go. That was actually pretty good. From what I saw of it. I can't remember why I never got to finish it though.
Yeah.
On the what's it called on Amazon Prime Video, there's also a one called Peripheral. I could highly recommend you to watch.
Yeah.
There's only that one season. Again, it's one of those where there's only one season. I don't know if they have plans for a second season though, because it really ended with quite the cliffhanger.
What
But
does it
that
say?
one was really, really cool.
Oh.
Have you seen the what's it called? It was like this anti superhero Kick Ass. I think it's called movie. It's called Kick Ass. I think.
I've heard of the film Kick-Ass.
Yeah, there's this like tiny girl in there. What's he called? Nicolas Cage is in there as well in that movie, and him and his daughter, like tiny girl, they also fight crime and whatnot. This tiny girl, I can't remember what the hell she's called. Chloe something something. She has the lead in this one. Obviously now she grown up, but it's a little bit ahead in the future, like into the future from where we are now, maybe 10, 15 years or whatever. And people they're doing work using VR headsets and stuff like that from home. And they all of a sudden they get a like a VR headset that's like the new tech type thing that they need to test. Um, Long story short, they then find out that they're like what they see in the headset is in the future,
Yeah.
and they're actually controlling it. Like when they're like in this VR thing, and they're actually like moving about, they're actually controlling like an android or a bot or something. Um, and then there's something like with there's this huge plot. I'm not gonna spoil it, but you should go watch it, dude. It's
Oh,
pretty good.
I'll give it a look off. Talking of like old sci-fis, have you ever seen Babylon 5?
Yeah, no, that wasn't Babylon 5. We talked about Farscape. Babylon 5. I think I've seen some of it.
Babylon
That's old.
5.
That's old, old.
It's early yes, it's early late 90s, I think.
Let me just look it up because I know of it. I don't know how much I've seen. Hang on, Babylon. Come on, Babylon 5.
That was 90. That was
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that.
yeah, 93 to 98. Yeah, that's one of my favorite sci-fis. series.
Yeah.
Again, perfect example. The very first season, particularly not so much the latter half, but the first half of the first season, very ropey. It's a bit of a struggle to get through the first season, but after you get past the first season, my word, it's an absolutely phenomenal TV series.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal. It's also there's also rumors of a curse because like most of the main cast died very young. But it was one of the first sort of sci-fis that really went full story arcs. Like, you know, long running plot. Most sci-fis of that were like sort of every week was there might be the odd follow-up, but generally every week what happened, and at the end of the episode it's all back to status quo as normal. So the Star Treks, for example, you could pick up any Star Trek and it doesn't matter where it is, you'll have a self-contained story. It doesn't really rely on you watching previous ones.
Yeah.
Whereas Babylon 5 very much had, you need to sort of see every episode every week because it has a story that follows on and builds on previous ones.
If you miss like one episode, you're lost.
Particularly towards latter ones, But no, Babylon 5, really, really good. One of my favourite ones there. So I need to rewatch that.
Babylon 5.
Apparently there's gonna be a reboot.
It is?
There's gonna be a reboot.
Oh, man, I wish they'd do something like, well, not necessarily reboot, but fucking Stargate. Wish they'd do something like that. I really want to see what they could do with that in like 2024 or you know.
Stargate could so easily be. You could have a new series in it. You don't need to do a reboot of it. You could so easily set up a new series.
I think if someone was to like take up the reins on that again, they would probably do a reboot or change things around. I think it could be interesting seeing where people could take it though.
That's my point. You don't need to do a reboot. You could take it different places without rebooting.
Yeah.
I mean, you had 10 series of really good sci-fi. Don't restart again. There's no need to.
Yeah.
It's not like the story, and the thing about Stargate is the story of Stargate didn't end. It didn't end like on okay, this is the end of it now. It's sort of like done. It doesn't end. It carries on, so you could easily do it. It's a bit like I watched over the weekend. I watched the Matrix Resurrection.
Matrix Resurrection.
Yeah, which is the film that came out last year.
That's the fourth. That's the
fourth one.
No, yeah, I think that's like 3-4 years ago, isn't it?
Is it that old? I thought it was like last year or two.
I haven't actually seen it yet. I haven't seen it because I was actually a huge fan of the Matrix
2021.
movies.
So two.
I was saying
years ago.
I've been afraid to watch it. I'm afraid it's going to ruin the first 3 movies.
So I watched it based on someone because I'd watched it obviously free, and I liked the first Matrix. Wasn't so keen on the second 2. I thought, but then someone said you should watch it. It wasn't that bad. As a straight up film, it isn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. However,
all right,
they are too stuck. The big problem with Matrix Resurrection is they were too stuck in like what they established. They stretched out plot line from the first 3 films that like had been ended quite nicely, and they stretch out. The first hour is basically a quite firm on the nose retelling of the first film. You have Keanu Reeves as Neo, and this is sort of like this is real minor stuff. I'll just give you my thing. Who is in the Matrix, doesn't remember who he is, and he's a game designer who's developed a game called The Matrix. And basically, his game is the plot of the first 3 films, and the whole it's almost like a tongue-in-cheek reference to like there's a bit where they decide to make a new version, and he's like, "Oh, I finished the game. It's a trilogy." And they say we're going to make a 4th one, and he basically sort of shows how much that's a stupid idea to do. As like you're just commenting on your own film. You're literally saying this is a stupid idea, and I'm sure they thought they're being very clever and being very meta with it. But basically, it's like you're pointing out the reasons why this fourth film shouldn't exist. My issue with it is that sort of first sort of retelling takes up nearly half the film. The second half is like when they actually get down to actually doing something, and like it feels actually would have been better as like a mini series. I can actually, if it'd been a mini series, and I know you wouldn't get Keanu and I can't remember who played Trinity. I can't remember, get those two. If you could someone get into like a 10-episode mini series where episode 1 is like a retelling of the first one, episode 2 is what the film is. That's like setting something up. It just doesn't. It doesn't do anything new. It's not an interesting plot. It just takes way too long, and the first half is too long. The second half is really rushed, and it just the sort of like reward, it just doesn't sort of really work. So yeah, I wasn't impressed. Wasn't impressed at all. It just feels like it's sort of like
This is exactly what I was afraid of.
the first films had a nice neat ending. Doing another film set in the Matrix universe isn't bad per se, but they insisted on bringing back Neo and Trinity. And if you're going to bring them back, you've written yourself into a corner, and their solution just doesn't work. It's just sort of very half-assed. Yeah, so not impressed with Matrix Resurrection. Not impressed at all.
Yeah,
but it was just if you saw it as a standalone film, just as it is, forgetting about the whole process, it's not that bad. But as a 4th film in the Matrix series, it's really bad.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's not a movie that I was actually not looking forward. Well, I was looking forward to it, but I was afraid of it, and that's why I haven't watched it. I was afraid it was gonna like ruin the other 3 because of it sucking like more.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother.
In terms of continuations of something, and especially with Keanu, I'm more looking forward to what he's gonna do with Constantine 2.
Yeah,
because that was a universe that didn't get tapped into enough. Like that was a really cool movie. If they can manage to pull the second one off really well, which I hope, fingers crossed, it's gonna be an awesome movie. You've seen the Constantine movie?
I have, yeah, a long time ago, but I have seen it. Yeah,
it's an awesome movie.
It is
fucking awesome. Can't wait to see what they do with the second one. But yeah, Matrix.
Yeah, I
love the other movies.
I only watched it based on someone saying, give it a go. It's not that bad. I wouldn't. Yeah. My personal thing is, I wouldn't bother. You're not going to miss out by not watching it.
Yeah, that's kind of. I'm actually happy to hear that because now I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, if you happen to be one evening at home, happens to turn up on TV and you've got nothing else to do, then fair enough. But I wouldn't go out your way to watch it.
I got tons of stuff to watch, dude. I have
a
backlog of movies.
Need not worry.
I want to watch the new Roadhouse movie. I want to watch what the hell they did with that.
Yeah,
because that's like I really want to see what they've done with that because everyone is giving that movie praise. Everyone that I've talked to, at least, is giving it praise that it holds up to the original. Blah 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 blah. I just haven't had time to watch it yet.
Oh, I have to give it a watch. Give it a watch and report back.
Yeah. Might do that so I have some things to talk. Because a movie I can sit down, I can find some. The thing about sitting down and actually playing games, sometimes for me personally, is with being so busy that sometimes I'm so drained of energy having to like sit here and immerse myself into a game and actually sit there for multiple hours without having to break the immersion. I end up just watching a TV show or a movie instead.
Yeah, I get that. I can understand that.
Yeah. So as an example, as for now, what I tend to watch is I'm into this. I've gotten very much into something called Storage Wars.
Oh my word!
Oh, I think it's so hilarious, and I think it's so fun to watch. It's like 20 minutes per episode. It's so easy, dude. I can just watch an episode. I can pass out, and I know exactly where to go back to. I think that's hilarious to watch. But that's not sci-fi though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I might have to give that one the Roadhouse. Get to watch that. I can report back next time.
What about next time?
Yeah.
And let us know.
All right.
Oh yeah. Oh, fantastic. Right, Zaber. Anything else before we wrap up?
No, I got nothing, dude. I got nothing.
Cool. Because I'm basically disappearing into the darkness. I've gradually, because it's getting darker, I started off where people could see me. Now I'm just this head in the dark. I'm looking like a bit like Holly from Red Dwarf.
So the only light that you're getting into your face is from the monitor in front of you.
It's from, and only if I've got like a Word document open, so they've got the white light coming, because I have most things in dark mode.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gradually getting darker. So, but yeah, we'll grab some fire to totally disappear. So, for anybody watching us this evening, you can check out our next podcast in 2 weeks' time on the 25th of April, UTC +1, or GMT +1, Denmark's fancy magical times.
It is. It's just plus 1 hour to what Ram just said.
Yeah, +1. So it's UTC +1, or +2 if you want. So you can check out our stream on twitch.tv/randnerds or youtube.com/randnerds. You can also check out our games nights. Next one will be on the 24th of April. That's at 8:30. You can check that out on twitch.tv/randnerds. We're currently playing through Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Yes, I got it right. I got it right.
I was
I
like,
got it
what
right.
the hell, dude? What the hell?
Yes. I got it right.
You did it, dude.
I did it. It's only took me like 3 months, but I finally got the name right.
Exactly.
So check us out. Check us out on that.
What was the game again?
Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
So she did it again. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm happy now. Check us out. That's at 8:30. GNT +1, UTC +1, or UTC +2 if you're Danish, or any other sort of nearby geographical location,
or time zone thereby.
yeah. We're in that magical time that we call Europe. Yeah. So turns that. So I'll just say thank you very much for watching. From me, the Suffolk Graham.
Save them all.
We will see you in a fortnight. Bye, everybody.
Cheers.